You guys, you're gonna have to bear with me this morning because I have the sniffles. I have the sniffles. The weather, everything is just, it's taking a hold on me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Okay, y'all, what's going on, man? What's really going on? For me, I have the sniffles. I think I need some chicken soup this morning. I don't know, man. It's just the weather going back and forth. The weather can't make up its mind, so that leaves me to think I have to dress in between the weather. I hope you guys are feeling good today. Your energy's up, and yeah, you're ready to just go through this whole thing. You know, there's a lot of things, a couple topics I have to bring to you guys. So if you hear me stumbling, it's just because my throat is a little and my nose a little stiffy. You know, a little stiff, a little. So just bear with me, and we're gonna get through it. So I just wanted to talk to you guys before we get into any topics or anything. I wanted to talk to you guys about just some certain things I've seen on going around the internet that I said, you know what, I'm not gonna make it into a topic, but just a quick conversation on it. So recently I just seen, I believe it was yesterday, Lisa Evers. Shouts out to Lisa Evers, always putting in hard work and, you know, keeping us informed with information that is credible information. She did a YouTube video and she was just talking about the whole Diddy situation and just how certain media content creators as well as other people, they just put false information. And I wanted to add on to that conversation that she was having. She had, I believe she had about 3 or 4 other people there, but I wanted to add on to the conversation. I believe in these times, credibility comes from the content creator. There's been more misinformation on these big platforms like the news, and I feel like people connect with content creators a little better because it's more information that's coming from them as well as the information that they're taking in than like a teleprompter or somebody just telling you what to say. A lot of these news outlets and the media outlets, if you play them back to back, you'll realize they're saying the same thing because they're just picking up the same topics and just going off of what they're supposedly supposed to say. And a lot of them can't say as too much because of their platforms and because of the places that they work. So when people come to content creators and they look for credible information, it translates better with communities and the conversation goes a little further than just a media outlet. And that's kind of like the difference between, and that's why I feel like content creators will win because if you guys don't know, YouTube had one of the biggest outcomes as far as when it comes down to voting and people say with the election. There's articles, and I can also make a video for you guys to show you that YouTube and content creators played a big part in this election and past coming elections. So it shows that content creators, you know, whether there's some that's not credible and just doing it for the views or for the money, there's also others that's credible, and you know their opinions mean a lot they speak for their communities and they speak for the people that, you know, as far as the issues that's going on in our society. So I do feel like content creators should get a little more credibility than how people say, you know, people are just putting out false information. No, we were kind of the first people to say, no, that information is false. That information is not true. Look, listen, we the ones that put information together. So don't knock the content creators because we make it a lot easier and a lot, you know, a lot digestible for our peoples to understand what's actually going on and the things that we take out, they connect with. So if it's going to be like a big media, like some type of media war, I will always think the content creators will win because we have a better connection to the people. Some content creators have a better connection to their fans than artists have to their fans. So you just got to look at it like that and balance out who you're watching and who do you believe in and where the information coming from. And after you finish being entertained by your favorite content creator, you can go and check the information yourself if you feel like it's shaky. So who you watch and where you get your information from, yes, it's detrimental, but it's not everybody's just watching just for information. Sometimes it could be so many different things. Could be uplifting things. So we don't want to knock the content creators. Content creators, we got to stick together. Well, some people don't trust content creators, but it depends on, you know, it depends. You might say you don't trust content creators, but what if it's like maybe like in the medical field or maybe somebody that can show you some credibility or some kind of credentials? Then you might have a better chance of, you know, because every day, you know, I put up a video on medical tourism, and that has to do with people not trusting the healthcare system out here. So if you have to have some trust in somebody, you know, even if you don't trust any content creators, because maybe the ones you follow are certain ones, they might just be doing it for, you know, money purposes. It's not a lot of content creators you're gonna bump into every day that's gonna, me myself, if you wanna trust in a person, you can just look at my channel from the day I started to up till now, and it has never been about money. It's always been about the message. So some content creators you could trust, and sometimes if I say something that might possibly be not true, as if I say allegedly, I try to bring the information and make it as clear as possible to the people. It's just a lot of content creators. Yes, there are. You know, I'm not gonna knock you, because you're absolutely right as well, because there are a lot of content creators that's making money off of this, and the more money you make, the more you want to put in to make that money again. And sometimes that might bleed, you know, being some funny information. But I try not to go that route, because at the end of the day, when you look back at this information, it all gets piled up into one, and then people are misled. And it's crazy, because we have to understand, the first time content creators footage ended up in courtrooms, and they took it for credibility. They took it credible. Some people in their lyrics, you know, the lyrics weren't true as far as like the music, but when you really look at it, some of those lyrics that they put in there, and the content creators, though, whoever figured those lyrics out, it was true. So there is some kind of credibility, you know. And I say, when it comes to media, you have to take everything with a grain of salt anyway. So you have to look at it like that too. Let me see what you're saying. No, not you. You don't understand. Okay, so he says, somebody said real doctors are not making content, and they're not creating content. Okay, now that's not possibly true. That's not, you know, necessarily true. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. When it comes to the health, let's just say the whole health care industry, as far as just everything from doctors, anything that has to do with your health, not everybody's being compensated, and some people need that extra money, or some people need to send out information, or just some information that doctors pick up on that they don't. Because when you're going into like a, you know, a doctor's office, it's not like you're being informed, like as far as learnable information. They're really figuring out what's wrong with you. But if you're watching a doctor, you know, on his maybe off days, or even if it's a doctor that's just retired and want to share the information, that's still credible information. But I do understand what you're saying, because a lot of people, hey, I can't force somebody to trust somebody, because I understand how you feel as well, because I've seen so much misinformation that's been took, and people took it as it's real information. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt and realize that we're all just people. So even if you getting this information from, you feel like it's a credible source, a lot of those credible sources that people say are credible, they have agendas too. And it's just like you're meeting somebody in the street. The communication of online and, you know, on the street is not that far of a difference, you know. Even if you meet, you know, there's a lot of online courses. Everything's becoming online. It's just the credibility. You can't just look at it like a blue check to say, oh, that person's credible. But you have to kind of, you know, you have to, in some sort of way, you have to know how to read people and know that the information, maybe if they have certification for their job or whatever they're, you know, they have to, the trust all comes from us. If we don't trust each other, then nobody's going to believe in anybody, and we'll be all in trouble. So there's going to come a point in time where you have to trust somebody and put your faith in something. To do YouTube for not the, well, I can't say, it's hard, because doing YouTube for, what's the, you know, not everybody comes on here to solve problems on YouTube. It's also a form of entertainment. So I won't just say YouTube is a place where like people just have to come here and solve, you know, figure out these social issues. But what I could say is the balance of YouTube is not really, it's not really more of, to me, from how I look at it, it's more about what YouTube recommends. Because if we all think the information that we are putting out there are just people trying to entertain people, if they were fit in front of the right people, everybody will have an audience. But it's what's being recommended on most of all, and what's being pushed out there. And we know how it goes when it comes to negative things. It goes so quick. And sometimes that can take off on the algorithm before YouTube even realizes, because the energy. So it's hard to really say, you know, I don't know. It's a lot that goes with it. It's not just about the content creator. I never look at myself, because look, my channel, sometimes I get big views, sometimes I get little views, but to me, what really counts in it all is the viewers. And if they are taking in the information, maybe sharing it, maybe liking the video, these are things that let me know that I'm doing what I'm doing for the right reason. Now, if I sat here and said this is going to be like a side hustle or, well, you guys would see in front of your face, this is not like a channel that's making hundreds and thousands of dollars, you know, a few $100 here and there. But my message to me means a lot. But the fact that I am getting a little something for it, I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate it. There's super chats and things that you guys can. So there's always room for improvement in anything you do. But I just don't necessarily stick on the money, because it's not that I'm saying that, oh, I have money. I need help as well. But I came here for a reason, and I'm not gonna go forth and just do anything and say anything just to raise my money up, because not all money is good money. If you doing what you're doing and people appreciate it, and that's what grows your channel, I feel like that is going to be a more credible channel that people would like to, you know, get in tune with, than a person that's just here and there throwing, you know, trolling stuff and then mixing it in with real information. To me, that becomes confusing. I don't know if that person, it's kind of like what Ray J is going through now. We see Ray J doing so many reality shows and things that, you know, kind of are just more entertaining, that when it comes down to a serious issue or something that goes down, like Diddy, it's hard to know or identify, is he telling the truth, or is this some kind of entertainment or promotional purpose type of thing? And I don't know, you guys. A lot of things right now is just so confusing. People don't want to trust people. Look at the elections. I told you guys, when the election is over, we still got to get ourselves up and go out there and do what we have to do. People still have their heads down from the elections like they just lost their best friend. But at the same point, we as human beings, we still got to come to some conclusions of this all within ourselves before we go out there and try to solve other people's problems. It'll give us a better understanding of what's going on, man. So credibility is going to come from the content creators, not the content. And the more credible you are, people are more willing to understand if those mistakes are made, misinformation, people understand that it wasn't just on you. It could have been a place where you was reading it from, and people are recognizing for that. So it's still a place for credible content creators, you know. Don't say that we all out here just doing whatever, because some of us, we don't get the most views, but we still come out here and we try to give it as truthful as possible and tell it as real as possible. So I just hope you don't feel like everybody's doing the same and, you know, out there just trying to, you know, fool people, because that's, some of us are the ones that got fooled. So we try to open you guys' eyes up and other people in the youth eyes up to not getting fooled the same. I just don't want everybody to think that we all up here and we're trying to, you know, just take money from people, because that's what those big corporations did to us, and try to open other people's eyes. So I try to make the channel a little bit more worth it than just a few dollars, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, a lot of content creators, you know, but sometimes I look at it like, you know, in my lifetime, I lost a lot of people. I lost good people, bad people, people make mistakes. And I look at sometimes content creators, you know, it's just like how hip hop got this way. They just want to make money, and, you know, some of them say feed their family, but then they take the money and do wrong with it, or they got put on this rapper kit that gets themselves in trouble. And I look at it like, you know, it's going to be a time when things change, and I want to be part of the change on the good side of the good content. And, you know, I don't want to ever fall in those pockets of people just doing it to do it, you know. I never, in anything I do, so I don't want people to ever look at me and say, you know, well, he's just doing it for this or just doing it for that, because I always worked hard for the things that I own, and if I had to go out there without the content creating, I would probably still want to touch people and connect with people to let them know who I am. I think it's a more relaxed feeling for myself to open up, because I have anxiety as well. So it's like a healing point for myself too, because I've been through a lot of things, and sometimes I like talking to you guys and seeing what your point of views are, because that helps me out too. So there's more than just putting the content out. It's also the connection in there makes it all worth it too. These people, they just want to throw it, get the views, and never connect with the people. And it might be a big topic, and they might have a whole bunch of views on it and make money, but they don't really do nothing with it anyway, y'all. They don't do too much with it. They might buy a car, you know, spend it or trick it off, but in reality, man, they ain't doing too much with it, man. So I don't really knock nobody for what they're doing. I just hope people make better decisions and come out a little better. Out here in New York, yo, I just want to go just off the head what did y'all see on the news? That little 7-year-old girl got shot, man. That thing, when I seen that, and she's running they show you the footage of her running with her father, and the little girl ran and jumped in her father's arms, and these two idiots are shooting aimlessly, and they end up hitting her. You see how life works? And I said, why it had to be her? That pissed me off. That little girl had to get touched. Out of all the shooting they doing, they're gonna hit that little girl. And those little things right there, it's like it don't make sense, because even if you could have your best day, and it could be your birthday, and you go out there and you trying to do something with your little girl, your little boy, your nephew, niece, and somebody just, they got their mind set on hurting somebody and they end up hurting you. I said, why it gotta be the 7-year-old girl? Why she gotta go out with the trauma? Why she gotta go to school and feel some kind of, yo, we gotta do better, man. We gotta do better, because the youth they looking with their eyes open, and they duplicating the things that they feel that's right in front of their face, and that's what people are seeing, the violence. And I just seen that situation. I'm like, man, why she had to get hit? Why they had to do that? Every day we trying to tell people. I'm not saying, you never hear me say, put the guns down, this and that. Stop shooting people and stop handling your problems going that route. Because when the youth get hurt like that, that little girl's gonna always remember that. You know, like, people understand, they think that when you get shot and the bullet go through you and the doctor take the bullet out, that the memory goes with it. No, the memory stays there forever, man. That wound never really heals. People see it like, that thing just pissed me off, y'all. That thing pissed me off. I couldn't wait to get on here and say, yo, what's wrong with these people, you know? So those little things right there, you know, that's credible to me. And if it's credible to me, I hope that maybe somebody out there, it could be credible to them too. So let me jump into the topics. Y'all, I don't want to go into that, but that just healing energy to the family. I'm glad that she didn't pass, and she's going to heal and live on, you know? But she can take that little wound now and just take it, and your story began already, so keep going, man. Man, so I'm hearing now that there's a possibility that Diddy might have like a chance of, well, he's putting up, I guess they're going for another appeal. I don't know, you know, when it comes to this whole Diddy situation, it's more than a mess when other people are chiming in. Every day I hear some information, but it still surrounds the same thing. And I'm at this point, I'm wondering now if it could come to a point where even if he does get out, I feel like that's gonna give him, I don't know, you know, I don't wanna, because there's victims out there, so I have to be very careful of what I'm saying, because I'm on the victim side. I'm not, just because he's a big mogul and things like that of hip hop, I'm not on his side, because I do feel just from my thinking and what I've seen and the things that I've heard about this man, I feel it's enough. I don't want to tell people how much time or whatever, but I know it's enough to keep him away from those victims, because he's dangerous. He's dangerous. I feel like once he start getting his life together and he start maybe in there they're fixing himself, maybe there's a possibility, because I don't feel like he's going to get 20-somebody years. I'm not sure. I don't want to just say that, but I'm just not sure. I'm hearing that 6ix9ine now, he's separated in the same, even though they're in the same facility, 6ix9ine is separated and he's waiting for his time to go out. All this back and forth to prison, you guys, man, not only does it take a toll on you, but it starts to realize, what are they going to prison for? Sex trafficking and all of this. Like, these are things that could be avoided. If you have a sex addiction or you have a problem with yourself, these are the times where you have to really check yourself, whether you're going to therapy or you use something for therapy. Usually if you're into reading, that's always a good way to relax your mind, and it's almost a form of meditation. People don't ever say that, but reading is kind of a form of meditation if you're reading the right things and you're just taking an intake and just being peaceful within yourself. People need some type of God or some kind of higher power, because when they sitting there with their narcissistic self thinking that they're God and they're the highest power, they take advantage of people. It's a sad thing, but it's not like, I heard in the Lisa Evers' conversation, they were saying that it's not just hip hop, which is true. It's not just hip hop, it's entertainment in a whole, as far as like movies. And we hear these situations like Weinstein's and these people. But at the same point, I feel like it's not, it's deeper than that. It's the power that people feel they have when they reach a certain amount of money, not a certain amount of credibility. And, build your credibility to be worth more than what you have out here as far as your money, and you always will be remembered and you'll be somebody. Don't think, because I feel like social media makes it feel like you have to be rich to be successful, and people get those two things confused. Success comes from when a person and how you feel inside, you putting together a plan, a blueprint, accomplishments. These are success. This is where success makes you who you are. You don't have to be rich or reach it. You could win the lotto. That don't make you successful. You win the lotto, okay, you win the lotto. What are you gonna do with the money next? Whatever you had going, that can make you successful. But people look at it as like it's just a number, or it's not that. So, that's the point where it confuses people in these times. And I feel like, being who you are in these times is enough. It's enough. It's enough. You start to realize the people around you, all the extra things that you bought to try to impress people, all that stuff is not really worth it. Is it? Because you're losing money. I know I am. If I'm buying a whole bunch of this 3 and 4 or 5 times, I might not feel like I'm losing the money now. But later on, at the end of the year, when you tally up, you start realizing, like, I didn't really need to do. Okay, yeah, I lost money. Come on. We're only human. There's more of us that's not rich than these people that are. So we know the difference between when somebody is faking it on social media or not. Come on. A lot of these people, and I'm not saying it's their fault, but like in the Diddy situation, a lot of these people, if they wasn't driven by money, if money wasn't the thing that blinded them or made them look past certain things, they would have never got themselves in this situation. And now that's not to say that it's their fault, because you could want the best from somebody and they do the worst to you, and it's not your fault. You put trust in somebody that misused your trust. There's, like once, it's like, but I don't know how the saying goes, the fool me once, fool me this, but you all know what I'm saying. So you have to understand that, like, when somebody does something to you, you have to take some kind of accountability to know that, wait, hold on, why didn't I catch that before it was done? That comes from you, your senses, the things that make you who you are. If you know yourself good enough, you don't want nobody around you that mean harm to you. You don't want to deal with that. It's just something you don't want to deal with. There's more other things in life you have to accomplish and achieve. All of us. Instead of paying attention to the things that don't pay us, no mind at all. Half of these people you think care about you don't care about you. You'd be surprised it's the little people around that just seen you grow up, that might have been never said hi to you, that know more about you than these people say about you, and the good in you than those people on social media. People are guessing. They're guessing. And just because they have a big following, it doesn't mean that they're a guess or whatever they say is correct. That's what makes smaller channels have a little more credibility, because we have that much more to prove to people that we want to reach these points and don't make these same mistakes. So when you ask about credibility, it's all it has to do with the person. Yeah. It's true. You got, look. This is intelligent. It's because they stole the money. It's why they show off the way they do. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because if you steal the money, you don't feel any value in it. You blow it. You didn't work hard for it. You didn't go out there and so if you're stealing it, it feels like, that's why sometimes when you see. That's the difference between a content creator that's getting paid for his message or somebody that's getting paid for their nonsense. If you're getting paid for your nonsense, the more nonsense you do to try to keep up with that payment, nonsense becomes a part of you. If you're putting messages together and you're trying to open and enlighten people, the more you do your research, the more you get sharper, but the people that's listening to you get sharper as well. This is the common. You see, people go out there and they buy into the picture and how it looks. But then when they look, that picture ain't got no frame around it. That picture has no credibility. It's not authentic. It's been duplicated a million times again. Pay attention to what's going on. Once you start paying attention, you're like, you know what? Everything you do, everything you go into buying, it's going to be your value. You're going to be like, should I buy into that? Because I know they need somebody credible like me to buy into this, but I'm not gonna buy into that because I don't like how you treated my people over there. When that becomes the main thing, people will start treating us a little better as far as the products they selling us, the prices they trying to sell it to us for, the stuff that we eat on a daily, everything would change and become way better. Because people will want you to be, they want you to let you know, I got the good stuff. I'm not just trying to trick you and run around the corner with your money when you come back around. My table ain't here. No, I want you to keep coming back. Tell your friends. Everybody wants in these times want to be the only one. I have the truth. If I'm gonna bring something credible to my people, I'm gonna make sure everything that I say you can go and research it for yourself and maybe learn something or feel uplifted by it. That's what makes us who we are. And then you see, it's a point that comes in time where the more people that follow you, the more information that's being fed to you, the more you don't know how to differentiate what's what. But it's up to you and how you feel is going to be the last decision. Did you see him kick the girl? Did you believe that he could do this? That's you. We're the jury. We're the jury, all of us, whether you're creating content or not. Whatever you say and you believe, it's valued. It's valued now. It's valued. It's valued. Don't ever think that. If I had to go with numbers versus these other people, I would lose because they got a negative. They going for it. You know, they say everything negative they can. But I gotta crawl up my hill a little slower. But I'm getting there. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there, y'all. I'm gonna get there. Trust me. I ain't gonna let y'all down. I ain't come here for nothing. I'm coming here to show you that you don't have to do all of that negative stuff and talk about people and degrade people and belittle people to be somebody. This is YouTube. This is not just it. This is not it. There's more in life than just this. This is just a circuit for us to communicate and bust it up. So when we take off, you could take a little something and say, you know what? No, I don't have to buy that today. I'm going over here and doing this for myself. That's the difference. But I'm gonna get there. But I'm not gonna cheat or lie or put somebody down for it. That's the difference. It don't matter where I get because my journey is my journey. Something could happen to me tomorrow. You'll still have a little something to go back to. Like, yo, I know him. I knew Mickey. I watched him. I seen that guy. So I make sure that every one that I do has some kind of meaning to it. And I'm not gonna just leave you with something that's gonna leave with some kind of disrespect. Or if I look back on it, I feel some kind of way. That's how I'm giving it up. That's just it. That's just it. Let me see. I seen they said, I seen something that it kind of disturbed me too when they showed the footage. Let me just take this off with PnB Rock. Like they was explaining, they showed a little extra footage and just explaining more into the PnB Rock situation. And it was hurtful because just like I told you, PnB Rock, while everybody said, it's about the jewelry and stuff like that, he had no chance, man. From what I'm hearing is that they set him up. Like the food took so long, and this is just allegedly, the food took long, and there was, I guess the person back there knew who he was, and they didn't give him no chance. As they ran up on him, they were first time criminals, y'all. So he was nervous, you know what I mean? And then he just started shooting him. He ain't give him no time because he would have gave him. PnB Rock he had the gun on him. Rest in peace to PnB. But he was ready to give his stuff up. But they didn't give him no chance. They were first time criminals. Just got caught in the mix. So he was nervous and he started shooting at him. While PnB Rock baby mom stood right there and witnessed every shot. Come on, man. Come on, nah. No, it's. No, sir. No, sir. I cannot put up with the violence. I can't march behind that. I'll go against it. For the way I was raised, I go against it. I can't do that. I don't care if he was in the worst of neighborhoods. You gotta treat your people better than that. Whether he going in whatever neighborhood, don't you know if that's a superstar come to one of them lower income neighborhoods that could uplift one of them, the youths to want to be something? But now they can't even come there because when they go there, their lives are in jeopardy. Nah, we got to do better than that. If somebody ain't do nothing to you, and yes, you can't walk around certain places because you become a plate when you're walking around with jewelry, this and that, and that's just how the streets are. But at the end of the day, man, it's still a sad situation, man. It's still the lesson that came out of it to teach the youth had to be a sad lesson when it could have been an inspirational lesson. You understand? Because he was a very talented artist. He wasn't just one of those artists like a fly-by-night guy. It was PnB Rock. Sometimes when I heard that man's music, I didn't even know it was him. I'm being honest with you. When I hear the music, I like that song. And they're like, oh, that's PnB Rock. Oh, that's PnB Rock. Oh, I didn't even know that. He was one of those talents. Like Mo3 and those guys, when you hear it, you don't even expect that. And that's like, when you rob somebody of the thing that God put them on this earth for, you don't understand the type of dark cloud that hovers over you. That type of karma that's going to hit those people and the people around there. It's going to just mess up their minds to think that that's the way, but that's not the way. Because in turn, don't think somebody just runs off with a happy life because he took a life. That's not the way it works. Come on now, we know better than that. We can do better than that too, than just for a piece of jewelry. A piece of jewelry, y'all. This is, and let me tell y'all something with them diamonds. Them people don't even want to, like I always told y'all, I worked in the diamond district. Them people don't even want them people in them real diamonds. And they figure being that you don't even know what's real or fake, what the hell would you care? All you caring about is the shine, but that don't make, if you've seen a diamond from when you first see a diamond, you probably wouldn't even want to buy it. You probably wouldn't even want to buy it until they shine it up for you and get it ready for your eyes. But when you look at it like this, you're saying all you're looking for is the shine. So they don't even want to tell you if it's real or fake. So now you go out there now and that same shine is a shine that you lose your life from. And that when I tell you it's not even worth it, some people sit around and say, oh, no, he this, he that, he this, he that. It's not about he's this, he's that. It's about those are the things that's attracting criminals to do what they want to people. So even if you have it, lay low off it for a minute. That's all it's about. Because people out there and they're getting hurt for this. You know how many, I've seen more break-ins now coming back up. Yeah, it's like on a rise again. People are breaking into people's house because there's the elections and they're saying how the immigrants, they're getting ran out, this and that. And whatever they're doing, people are trying to hold. And what do you think is happening? What do you think is happening? We have a mother and her father just got stabbed to death in their Queens home in Roosevelt. And they had somebody new living in the basement. And down in their basement, they had somebody living there and then they can't find that person. People are wicked. And this all dates back to what I always tell you guys. Who do you trust in? Who has your back? Who could you trust? Because it's needed in these times. Trust me, people don't see how dangerous things are right now. But that is one of the main problems why we can't even come together. Because it's not, we can't say it's not, it used to be our own people. But now it's them and our people. It's scary. You're shooting little girls. You don't, where's the respect? The respect is being wiped away because of greed. Greed. I'm telling you, it ain't even worth it. I'm telling you, with the same $1 billion that you think is worth it, it's going to come with more than $1 billion problems. And can you hold up to those problems? I don't know, because you can't even hold up to these when you didn't have it. Lil Zay, that boy threw away his life. Well, not really. It's a 14-month sentence, but it just and a $10,000 fine for having, a weapon. But this is what they want. Look, if you're in a place where you can't, like in New York, there's no weapons. If you get caught with it, you have to do time. If you're in a place where you have to carry a weapon in these times, don't even go. Don't even go. I don't care how much they're paying you. Don't even go. The money is not always worth it. Stop thinking that. Remember, the person that's going to tell the story ain't going to be the richest person, all right? I'm telling you. He's going to be the guy that sat down and seen it all happen. Seen the guy run through, passed the camera, did what he had to do, ran back. He's seen it all. 1,000,000 times. Don't y'all know, while these rappers out here, they think it's not serious on YouTube, they're already testing out AI music. What did I tell you was going to happen? They're doing AI remix music. That means that, I don't know if they could take a real person's music and remix into an AI version or like but look where it's going is because the craft, people are not, and they want to tell us that AI music ain't gonna be good. Are you kidding me? That thing got a bop. I could go to some AI music right now that got a bop. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. They be lying for real. I promise you they do. I promise you they do. I promise you. Hold on, let me see something. Hold on. You know, oh, I didn't hear any updates on the buckshot. I'm gonna check that after I see somebody posted up something. But I didn't hear any updates with the buckshot. Another thing I wanted to talk about when it comes down to that whole buckshot, real quick. It's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. But the energy of Brooklyn still, there's still a respect that's shown in Brooklyn that people don't understand. Like, if you have issues outside on social media, look, man, at that age, you shouldn't having to be on the street beefing with somebody yelling out how you were snitching. This, all of that stuff right there, all of that stuff says to me that you're not putting yourself in the right places, because if that is the topic of the day, who's snitching on who, for me, that's just not, it's not, it ain't it. It ain't it. It ain't it. I don't want to know who's snitching on who at the end of the day, because whoever's snitching on who, that person they getting snitched on, they doing a whole lot of time. By the time they get the time and they hit the thing, and that's when we'll get the story. But until then, I don't want nothing to do with anything that has to do with any illegal things, when there's so many legal things you can do in this time to better you, your family, and people around you. But instead, you choose that route because that's a one trick pony mindset. And we need to get past that. There's so many different things you can do with yourself than go out there and be a fool. I don't get it with people. People are just, they not only are they wasting people's time, but they're wasting their own time doing things like that. I tell you, when you get the money, a lot of these people, when they get the money, they don't even know what to do with it. So I don't even know why people would think that, it takes a long time, not really a long time, but a lot of energy and a lot of people that really, support you to come on YouTube, and people, put their credibility and they start believing in you. So people just jump on here and they want to go the negative route because it picks up, and the funny picks up too. But when it comes down to serious situations, just don't be involved in that, because people are gonna want to still see funny out of you. It's only right. It's only right. You're the best. You my first ever. I did my first ever wrench given is you. See, that's dope. That's dope. I really appreciate you. I really do. And in these times, we need more of the conversations about the people that's going to keep it all 100. Because I don't care if the conversation comes from like a mainstream outlet or just a content creator just speaking his or her mind. It's all about what's being said in the thing. That's what I feel like where credibility is going to come from. Because I can't just trust their mainstream they're not, a lot of those things be commercials and nah. But if Lisa Evers, I met her before, and she's a very cool person. I just know she just was trying to fill that conversation, and but that's just how it is. Especially with the Diddy, there's so many people coming from so many different angles. Everybody's story, it has to be, filtered out. We'll see what's going on. Do I think that he's gonna come out for this appeal? I don't think so, but anything's possible, in these times. So I'm not gonna just scratch it all the way out, but I just feel like, the reason why they're not giving him the appeal is probably because the type of crime and the threat he was to the people that were involved in these situations. Could you imagine how the people will feel, the victims of this man, and he's just let out for the holidays? They're gonna be scared. They're not gonna have the best of holidays, So let's be fair about it. Let's be fair. See, you're a Fenty. You're a Fenty. You moderators on both of us, you're a Fenty. Straight up, you're a Fenty with us. Fenty's for life. Fenty's for life. Yeah, man. Let me see what's going on with I'm hearing, hold on. That's enough. It's a good thing you said that. Hold on. Oh, I seen Gene Deal. He got at Freddie a little bit, like saying that Freddie P was incredible. I don't know. I think Freddie was very credible. I don't, when it came down to Freddie P talking about the whole Diddy situation, I felt like Freddie was just giving his point of view on how the altercations that he had and how he was dealing with Diddy himself. Now, everything else, like he said, like the people that were speaking to him behind the scenes would tell him things, and that's when he started bringing that to us. Like he'll say, like he didn't say anything about like blowing people up. I remember Freddie P saying something like, "Oh, when the documentary comes out, y'all gonna see what I'm saying, but I don't want to tell y'all right now because I don't want to blow it for the person that told me." So the reason why, so what I took from that was that he was learning more information about Diddy as well as the people that was around at the time. So now that he was learning more and putting things together himself, being that he was a part of, that establishment at one time. But then Gene comes in, he says that, he's not credible and the things that he saw. There were two different times too. You got to also understand. There was two different bodyguards, and those bodyguards placed differences in times, like the time when Biggie was there in the early, the time, later on. And I just feel like Freddie P was part of the later on, when it came down to making of the band. I even was in the first, me and my bro, we was in the first making of the band video. It was a cool experience. I liked the whole, and I felt like, I didn't know that none of this stuff was like, they was really had heart to get these people blowing up. But at the time, I was thinking that I like the format of, the world watching and picking out the groups and, so when they do get to a certain point and everybody feels like they won with them, it helps the artists and the people grow. So I felt like, but if behind the scenes they didn't have those intentions and different things were going on, then I could understand why it fell out that way. But if you really look at it, Freddie P, to me, it doesn't look like he was, being malicious or, he has his gripes with him not being paid what he was supposed to be paid, but he also has a lot of other truthful information that he gave us. So I don't know, maybe that's, and even on Gene Deal's side, like as far as like, Gene was around Diddy as well. So he has credibility to himself too. It's just all about the person and how you deliver it. I see a couple videos now he's saying, because when I first heard Gene, he was telling what, with the Diddy situation about the drinks and the different things like that. I didn't take it as he was doing something wrong. And I looked at it like, oh, he's a bodyguard, he's speaking his truth. He said, F that, no matter what happens, let me just tell it like how I know it. And I thought at that point that was commendable. But when he came back and he said like, no, he wasn't the one. I said, wait, I seen him and I heard him say it. It's all, I feel like, because nobody wants to they don't want to end up on the side of Diddy getting himself in trouble. But when you're telling the truth, it can only come out one way, no matter what happens, or it's you almost gotta say, whatever happens, let me just say what I have to say, and that's it. And people will take it from there. But when you go back and you try to fix it up or change it around, then people start getting confused, and then they when the raid goes on, they actually find the stuff that spikes drinks and things like that, and so everything started to add up, and that's just how this puzzle got painted. It wasn't that we knew these different things. It took a whole lot of different people from parts of the industry to add in what they knew about him and the things that that possibly could be leading up to the person that we're seeing right now. And that's how we got to that point. But it makes no sense of two people arguing back and forth who's credible with Diddy, because the FBI got him. You know what I mean? It's like they already have information. I'm hearing now that the tapes I told you, as far as like allegedly with Jennifer Lopez and things like that, as far as celebrities being on this, that's what I think made the case that much harder and much difficult, because now not only do you have one person with a lot of money, but you have other celebrities that they are going to find their lawyers, get their lawyers in it. So it makes the case that much tricky. But hey, anybody involved in that situation should at least, tell their side and their truth about it. Because we're not just dealing with a guy that just picked up and did this yesterday. And that's all I really want to say on the Diddy. I'm not really pointing my finger. I don't know how much he should get or what time he should get. I never even knew that those R type of crimes get that much time, 20 years and all that stuff. I didn't really know. It's not like I that's just been popping up on the news. You know, I never really knew what, all this sex trafficking and stuff. I heard of that in the past, but I didn't know that it was that serious like it really is in these times. And it was always been that way as far as like politics, entertainment. This has been a thing. So, you know, sometimes it's sad that the things that you're complaining about and that hurts your heart, there's somebody looking on and that they're doing that to somebody else. It's just the way you gotta, it's the balance in life, man. Not everybody out there that you're talking and giving your message to is gonna be taking it in on the positive side. There's gonna be people that they're offended by it because they still wanna continue to do these things to people and hurt people. That's the only way they know how. So what can we do? What can we do? But identify who we are within each other. That's how I look at that. Um, yeah, but they've been beefing. I haven't heard anything else on Oh, hold on. You know what was a for the just to jump in battle rap real quick. Shouts out to Hitman Holla. Great fire. When let me see. Could y'all real quick because it just got interrupted. Can you still hear me? Do you still hear me? Could y'all still hear me? Just put a yes if you can. Okay, cool. Real quick, the Hitman Holla. I like the fact that he's taken not he didn't go outside of battle rap, but I like the fact that the money that he took and he made from like Wildin' Out with Nick Cannon, and he's using his money in the right way to come back to the culture and build it within a way where people could get more money. When we find a way to make money for ourselves, and then we turn around and start finding a way to make money for our peoples, or the peoples that follow us, that's saying something. That's saying something. So I'm gonna give him, you know, because that's what battle rap needs right now. We need fire cards, and don't worry about, well, the bootlegging and all that stuff. It does hurt the culture, but we have to understand our people's gonna always be our peoples. You don't just start pointing out everybody, but we try to get the best battles, and the more you get that, the more the culture would, you know, rise. So shouts out to Hitman for doing this thing. Legend in the battle rap. One of my favorites as well in battle rap. So, you know, I'm glad that he got, to me, I really like the way he did. I'm hearing he had a little back and forth with people, just thinking that, you know, they can, well, I like Lil Lux did like a little, I would say like a watch party. They just got to figure, I think they just have to, the communication has to be better. I don't think it was done out of malice, but I think the communication has to be better, and there's always a connection. There's always a way to connect so everybody can make money and generate for the culture. So shouts out to everybody that watch battle rap, and get past all the bickering and beefing back and forth, and just keep it all bars, and that's how the business will rise and the culture will rise at the same point too. Everybody want a little dollar, extra dollars nowadays. How do you feel about mass policing of people by our people? Do the communists buy any? Okay, so how I feel about mass policing ourselves. So you're saying by our people, by our own people? I don't think that's gonna be good. It sounds like it'll be good, but we can't even trust our own. You see, if we had a more direct and more better communication within our own people, then it would be that much easier for us to put people in position to in certain situations that could be held accountable. But if we can't trust our own people, and I gotta watch my back and make sure that my little ones and the people out there that has families, they don't get shot down by some negative somebody over there just having a gripe or with each other, then it makes me that much eggshells that I can't trust what to come together to make something work. And I think that's going to be a big problem within each other. Like, trust not only just comes from yourself, but like, you know, like if you have a crew of friends, y'all going, no matter what y'all think, y'all have to trust the same. Because if y'all don't trust the same, then that type of friendship, it gets broken eventually when people see things they don't see eye to eye. And then this one go ahead, this one want to fight this one. It's like we as just people in general, if we don't have that trust, all that policing ourselves, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. Before we see, policing yourself comes with discipline. It's a big out. You know, I learned that. Like, even like I took like my earlier years when I first in high school years, I took martial arts. And people think martial arts, you have to, you come out like this kung fu fighter. No, it's the discipline you learn. It's the time it takes for you to earn those belts, or to get the split all the way down, or to make those kicks, and the discipline it takes for you to listen and take in that information, you could take that on into your life. A lot of people look at, like, that's what I can't, be honest with me. If your own people in your own neighborhood was policing your neighborhood, I feel like crime would go up, increase, because eventually what's going to happen, we see people, our own people, in these positions, and they misuse the power that they have in these positions, and we in turn end up being the ones to get hurt. So me, personally, I wouldn't go about that route, even though the policing themselves sounds good. I would say have better communication with the police that's out there. Having them have a better idea of who you are, having them see you for who you actually are, and not look at you like the criminal that they possibly are scared of or are in fear of, is the best way to try to carve it out. So whether it be your community, you have these meetings in communities, and police officers come down, whether it be parades, have a more welcoming energy. And that welcoming energy, it pushes all the demons back. Even though it might not be the energy where you physically can do it, your welcoming energy, the love that you have, that love energy pushes all the negativity away. And eventually people will read you for who you are. So if you're not in these places where these crimes are happening and where people are hurting people, and you get caught in a place where you just normally, go about your day-to-day basis and just doing what you got to do, you should most likely, not saying it can't happen, but there's a lesser chances of you being that victim of a police violence or somebody looking at you outside of who you are. So the steps that you take on your day-to-day basis, and how you put out your energy, is going to make it that much easier for people to read who you are inside. Because if you just look from the outside, sometimes you might just see locks or hoodie, and now you throw me into a mix with some people that's hurting people. But if you see who I am, maybe somebody, wait, I know that guy. Wait, hold on, Mickey, that's Mickey. Hold on, he didn't, wait, something's wrong. Your people will vouch for you. People, they'll step up for you. So when you're down there, people are coming and try to help you out. That's how you build your credibility within your community and just you as a person. So instead of policing each other, what we need to really be is we have to have a clear picture of ourselves to people. So when they read you, if you don't give off that energy of you're out there trying to hurt somebody, steal from somebody, there should be no possible way that you should get yourself in these situations unless you were wrongfully messed with. You understand? And if you are wrongfully messed with, that's when the authorities and everybody else come into place. And that's why these things happen the way they do. Depending on where you live, if you could protect yourself with a weapon, okay, that might be the route. Where we live in NYC, we can't go that route. So we got to use this. We have to use this more than we use this, So you got to make sure the youth know that the routes that they take, they can get out this trap by not even using the trigger, pressing a gun. You don't have to use a gun or hurt somebody else to get out. That's going to hold you back in, because everybody in there going to be up to that. If that was the way, that'd be the easiest thing to know. You have to know how to dodge. I'm not going there. I'll skip it this time. I'm not gonna buy that. I'm gonna get this one. Oh, that's what they're wearing, that color. I'm gonna go for this one. Having that type of mindset, you're gonna get out of a lot of more things. Even if it does happen to you, the chances of it happening to you are a lot more lower than somebody just going out there and just being like a magnet to all the negativity in your community. That's not the way you want to go about it. Okay, hold on. Maybe I read it. I took it wrong. No, what I meant was, would you agree with the Israelites made us keep? What do you mean? Do I agree that they made us keep the commandments? Because those don't you realize? Because those commandments, when it comes down to like the 10 Commandments, it still works for today. In other words, that's how you know it's good word. What do you mean? Could you give me a little breakdown on it? Because I'm still a little confused. Could you give me a little more? That sounds interesting where you're going with it. And could you give me a little more on what am I missing out on the Israelites? It said, can you break that part down for me? And maybe we can get into that. I don't know because I'm a little confused. Let me bring it back a little bit. Let me see. Sometimes I'm running my mouth. I went to. Okay, hold on. How do you feel? Oh, wait. I think I understand what you're saying. Do you mean in like a dictatorship way? See, my whole thing is when you. That's another thing. Like like when you say like Christians or Muslims, Israelites, and that's too wide to try to determine such a concentrated solution, in other words, because not everybody's the same. So I don't want to give you any false information on it. What to do is let me know what do I have to look up to see that information you're talking about, and I'm gonna look into that because I really want to look into that. Maybe I'm taking in something. I don't want to just give you some information how I feel when it could be something way more important than that. So that I really appreciate if you can and I'm still gonna go back and I'm gonna check that out myself because as much as you may think, I'm not tuned into everything out there. Sometimes I have anxiety, you guys, so I don't tune into everything, and not everything that it could be. Some things could just it just is like it could be something so small, and I'm like, oh, I don't. It just drops my whole energy because I see something crazy, just like that 7-year-old that got shot. So I don't try to tune into everything, but the things that I do tune in and I bring to you guys, those are the things that I feel like that's really they're on top of today's most needed things in society. I could say, or the things that's just kind of like there to the people in our communities because it's just like how the crime rate, they say the crime rate is decreasing, right? Even though that might be true, it depends on the type of crimes that's decreasing in that community. So while crime is decreasing, there could be still elderlies and people still getting hurt. The crime could still be decreasing. So it's all about how you look at it. You know, for real, for real. I don't want to just jump it. I don't want to confuse you. I'd rather look into it and then I give you my take on it. You guys, you seen the medical tourism? I have a video out for that. The reason why I brought that and I felt like that was important because everybody, me myself, yeah, I have my healthcare, but it's not everybody out there that has healthcare or even the money or the means to get these type of medicines. And the medicine that whatever they may need might be too much or they can't get it from here and they have to travel out to these places. And it's just we're at a point where I don't feel like in America we should have to fly out to so many countries. I feel like why can't we have these things in place here where we can just help ourselves? Why do we have to have people traveling just to get this type of medical help? Why are we not doing that for ourselves? Did we lose connection within each other? Are we not loving each other enough to give the best takes and the best our best work as far as medical in the medical field for the patients and the people coming in? What is going on? Because we see a big percentage of the doctors and things that are coming from other countries, and yes, we love that too because we want to have our hospitals with the best doctors and nurses, but at the same time, we want also that people are this type of education is being built in America too. We want to have people that they want because what's going to happen is nobody's going to want to go to these colleges out here if when they graduate they're not getting the same credibility as these nurses and doctors from other countries. They're going to become the ones with the better colleges. So we have to more want that our people to get this type of information, and we want to be able to not I wouldn't say build but grow with these type of people that's going to be sharp on what they love doing. And I think that all comes from, how we're being treated. Like if there's a doctor and they're not being compensated or something that makes them, slow down in the job, why do we have to go further out for this type of education? Because we need that education right here in America. those, and it's not a no, it's not a knock to them because there's so many, even in Barbados, a lot in Barbados, there's a lot of nurses and doctors, and it's something that I feel like every place should have. And when you have to go, fly out so far just to get your medical treatment and things like that, I think that's something that should be looked into, and we should find that good benefits and everything in the place where we're from, and that would make America way better than it ever was, because people more concentrate on your health and how you feel, and those are the things that we really need in society, not just fluffing our pockets and dumping a whole bunch of sugar and food that's not going to be healthy for us. I don't know, man. There's a lot going on. I might just jump back on later on, but I just wanted to get that to you. Let me see, did I miss anything, you guys? I really appreciate you guys for being here today, man. I had the sniffles. Yeah, man, and my throat is little. Ray J. So they're saying there's a possibility that Ray J. He's saying that he was shot at, and I don't know if he's saying that it has something to do with the whole Diddy situation, but just things like that. You don't know how people are crazy out here, man, and I don't know. Who am I to say that he hasn't been shot at? But that's how he feels. It's just, look, take things seriously, and I'm not pointing the finger and say if it came from Diddy or whoever it came from, but it's just be mindful of the things that you do, the things that you say on this whole new social media world, because there's still a world outside of that, and that's real life. People will catch up with you, and things can happen. You're living in LA, things can just happen. Things just happen. And when people, just be truthful in what you do, and if somebody did shoot at you, thank God that you're still here. And man, it's crazy out in these streets, man. It is crazy. They also gave Lil Wayne a little. I'm not saying. Why am I saying little? Excuse me for that. I don't want to. That is disrespectful of me. Pardon. But they gave Wayne. I guess he has like a new spot, because Wayne always loved sports, and I think with this whole him performing with Kendrick kind of threw it a little bit off because of the temperature. But besides all of this, Wayne is a sports dude, and I feel like, in the sport, I believe when it comes down to sports, the people that watch these big games and these people, they know who's into sports and know who's into there for, just promotional. And Wayne has always been a part of sports, so I'm glad that they included him, and now I'm pretty sure he's a moderator or something like that. He's going to be talking. That's really dope. It's really dope. Once you put your heart into something, it's really dope when you're accepted in that field, And it's sad that hip hop, I think, I'm not saying that hip hop owes him an apology, but just, be a little more open to what other people are saying. So now you're going to hear Wayne over the airwaves. I don't know how they're going to do it, if it's just going to be New Orleans or how they're going to do it, but that's pretty dope. I think that's dope. Yeah, shouts out to all the hip hop MCs that's jumping into the sports field as well and mixing the two. You got Cameron and Mace, one of the dopest. I believe they were. I'm not saying they were the first, but they were one of the dopest ones that really blew up. Speaking on sports, and they both were in sports in their high school years and college and things. So it all makes sense. So shouts out to everybody on that. So good to hear that people are expanding what they're doing and going into different fields and bringing themselves a part of that field. That's today I'm gonna do a little bit more. I have a little more editing to do. I dropped that video for you guys. Remember I told you. Let me see. I have 2 videos that you guys can check up. It's not like I'm behind. I always leave you guys with something that you could tune into. So what do we have? We have the medical tourism. Oh, and also that sad case with the person with the Yeezys. I'm not even, with the whole sneaker trading and selling and stuff, there was a point where that thing was, people, it was booming, the market was booming for it. And, people were making a lot of profits just holding sneakers back. But I think those days are fading away because of the fact of the people meeting people as far as like online. There's a lot of been happening when it comes to items like Yeezys, and people are paying, crazy prices for this. And then you have somebody out there trying to rob you. We see this a lot. I've seen a lot of instances like this with like Craigslist and all those funny stuff. You go to meet the person, and then all of a sudden they try to rob you for your car, whatever you're selling, and it just turns into a big mess. But when it comes down to sneakers and stuff like that, that's even in a place where that needs some kind of change. The way it's being looked at, and just just a abundance of sneakers and people just going crazy for sneakers. It's starting to look like that other stuff that people kill people for. It's just like it's ridiculous. There's certain things that sneakers to me are more personal to the person. So if you buy sneakers and you don't want them, or you're just buying it for profit, I think that's not gonna last too long. I don't think, because so many designs, so many sneakers, the more and more and more and more and more that they drop, it just makes a sneaker that much more less of chances of being, valuable or a one of one or things like that. I don't think it's gonna be going into the future is all about just one person having something. I think about I see the future being who's the person selling the product is gonna count for more than what the product is, because it's been a lot of times we've been misguided, people leading us on to thinking products was this, products was that, and they just wanted to profit out of us. And then when the ball bounce and we need a little help for ourselves, we can't find these people nowhere. So I think things are changing for the people that understand what's going on right now, and I feel like, yeah, that's the way it should go. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's what it's all about. I'm about to get out of here, you guys. I really appreciate you for tuning in. And like and share the video. Show me some love. I need the love. I need the love, man. I really, really, really need the love today. Got the sniffles in my throat. So I'm just going to try to make it happen. Shouts out to all of our peoples out there. Yeah, man. Love y'all. And yeah, stay out the way, man. Get your money. Do what you got to do with it. Do the right thing with it instead of doing the wrong thing. Doing the wrong thing is either going to catch up with you now or later. It ain't even worth it. So until next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Peace. Love.